Well, chairmanships matter, and they matter quite a lot in the Senate. And so to have a senator who's chairman of Armed Services, to have a senator who's chairman either of Budget or Environment Public Works, that's a pretty significant combination, and it matters a great deal to Rhode Island to be able to have our Rhode Island voices amplified by those chairman gavels.
Hey, we are the Coalition Loud and Proud Civilly Disobedient Media. We are here in East Providence, Rhode Island. As mentioned, the entirety of the Rhode Island congressional delegation, both senators, 2 congressmen, are here to talk about the dramatic turn in the battle, if you will, against exorbitant prescription drug increases, pointing out significant legislation over the last, cumulative over the last several years to fight that surge, if you will. But it is election weekend, and we believe at the Coalition that the most underreported aspect of this election is the battle for the control of the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate. Right now, if you look at the number of independents, who knows really who's controlling the Senate at this point. But, the Democrats are, and that has critical aspects for Rhode Island. We've got 2 senior senators who have significant positions, of influence, if you will, in the battle, if you will, for the United States in terms of its priorities, its foreign policy. Senator Whitehouse, again, thank you for joining us. Do you see any dramatic shift in the United States Senate in terms of control?
I think it's been very close throughout this entire election season. I think it's still very close. I feel optimistic enough that I'm putting my extra effort into Florida to help our Senate candidate in Florida, Debbie Murkowski-Powell, win a seat down there. If she can win, that's a very, very powerful thing for us in the Senate. Will help keep Jack Reed and myself with important chairmanships, but more to the point, it will help maintain a Senate majority that has done things like reduce pharmaceutical costs for Rhode Islanders against the wishes of the pharma lobby that the Republicans follow around.
If you could for a moment, and speak to the importance of Rhode Island having 2 senior senators effectively running committees, not just because of the money. I mean, obviously, we tour with you, we tour with Senator Reed, we see the impact financially, but just, if you will, the spiritual aspect of yours and Senator Reed's senior position on committees.
Well, chairmanships matter, and they matter quite a lot in the Senate. And so to have a senator who's chairman of Armed Services, to have a senator who's chairman either of Budget or Environment Public Works, that's a pretty significant combination, and it matters a great deal to Rhode Island to be able to have our Rhode Island voices amplified by those chairman gavels.
Why has Rhode Island so traditionally, when I say in terms of punching above our weight, it's really an aspect of our size, but over the last, TF Green Airport, just as an example, what is the special sauce in Rhode Island that's made Rhode Island senators so prominent?
I think persistence. We tend to be around for a while, and that allows seniority to happen. But I also think there's something about a small state and senators from a small state who hear a lot from constituents and keep close to the ground in their home states and don't get all Washington-minded. So I think those are the main reasons that Rhode Island has a long tradition of very effective senators.
Well, if you're a political person at all, whether you're on this side of the camera or holding office or in the variety of operations that take place in our government, this is the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. This election, let's go step back a second. Elections traditionally have been the most important in our lifetime. I'll close out with this question. Is this the most important election in our lifetime?
It's the most important that I have seen. We have never, for instance, had the danger of electing a criminal to the Oval Office. And the threats that he's already making about how he would behave as president are completely inconsistent with our American traditions. So we could really veer off into very dangerous territory if this election goes wrong.
Senator Whitehouse, as always, thank you for your time.
Thanks very much.